Hey everyone,
Hey,
welcome
we're
back.
back.
Reroll is our 5 to 10 minute commentary on a game we just played, and we just got finished playing Living Planet, hot, fresh new import from France. France?
Yeah.
We're gonna guess France
France?
because it has France and English
Yes.
versions
It
in
actually
there.
says on the back.
It's France.
France.
It's all right. I'm not gonna say
Yes.
anything bad.
Anyway.
Anyway, okay. So, if you want to watch the gameplay, we did a first play on it, so go watch that video. If you want a quick summary of what we think about it, we're gonna let Mike open up because he's got all kinds of reviews about this game.
All right. So it's not like we haven't seen the problems before with a Kickstarter game that comes from non-US, non-English speaking countries, translating into English and trying to use terminology that is recognizable, obviously, by both the UK style of speech and the United States style of speech, with the idioms and the clarifications. So didn't work. Let's just put it that way. Um, we finally tried to make sense out of it, but there was too many ambiguities to clarify whether something worked this way or that way. So rules translation is a definite problem. You have to take your best shots. We took our best shots, corrected one halfway through.
Yeah.
Because unbeknownst to us, the building tiles have two sides. They're like the opposite sides of a six-sided dice. And we didn't know that because when I first sorted them out, I sorted them all out on one side as the 1 through 6. Turns out you can duplicate numbers, I guess, by flipping them over if you, anyway.
What Mike is addressing is basically the buildings you build produce resources on a number, and that number is on a card. So we thought we were really limited. Once somebody took the mushroom producing building that produces on 3, nobody else could do it. Turns out
just happenstance, I looked at the other side of the tiles, and it turned to be the opposite side of a D6, or the opposing number to create a sum of 7. So 3's on the back of 4, and etc. Which allowed duplication of the dice resource. So you could get 2 resources of that for a die roll of 3, for instance, is possible. We didn't think that halfway through the game. So for whatever reason, I mean, strategies could have changed easily had we known that was a legal move. Nothing in the rules says whether you can flip to the other side of the tile or not, but they did it that way, so one must assume from the beginning that was allowable.
There's also some issues with like the motorized astronaut. When do you pay for that oil?
Scientist, Well, I mean, there's just too many things, and then we were constantly referring to a player aid that somebody so nicely did on Board Game Geek. I'm not going to give credit for that necessarily.
Was it the manufacturer, the publisher?
No, typically it's not. It's a fan made. Most all of these are fan made, and they're most often very, very, very valuable to help clarify translations. I've got a number of them for other games that I've gotten from Europe, and they're very helpful. And the other things that's very helpful usually is an FAQ or an errata over the typos or something that we didn't have one of those present. But anyway,
there is a little player screen.
Beyond those particular problems, in my opinion, this game tries to do too many things that other games have done to try to give you an all-in-one experience of, oh, gee, I'm playing a card to determine my initiative or my resource or whatever you want to call it, and then I'm passing around somebody's control for an entire turn over who goes first and who goes second, and whether those disasters can like me when the final turn I got to go, oh, look at this, I see what the dice are, I can program to have disasters occur to mess people up if possible, and then too many things going on that don't work necessarily that well together. Too many of them. I think it reached too far.
Yeah.
So for you, it's a no, you wouldn't play it again.
I'm not interested in playing this game again, and I certainly wouldn't add it to my collection. I love Euros. Yeah. It's too bad this wasn't better implemented.
I was excited to play it. I like the idea of space exploration. I like the idea of revealing tiles, all that good stuff. I was worried about it because of looking at the back of the box. I'm like, oh boy. Like, I'm not trying to be for a little bit of background. I'm fully fluent in Italian, and English, and I've studied French. I don't speak it anymore, but I study, and I used to be a lot more practical with it. So I'm not trying to bag on like multiple languages, and I get that like when it comes from the European side, they have to deal with sure with a lot of the same problems we do. You get a translation of the Dungeons and Dragons book in Italy, and it was garbage, right? I mean, that being said, though, as a publisher, put in some effort because just running this one time and putting two doesn't work very well. I was worried about it, and sure enough, that's what happened, right? It was a whole bunch of ambiguities. Apart from that, like Mike said, my problem with it is I did not get any of that. I did not get space exploration. I did not get researching, and because everything was so limited. Like, oh, you get one choice, and so once every 2 times, I get to make the special action on my card.
Right.
Once, maybe I'll get to produce a bloody mushroom that literally I have to sacrifice to try to save an astronaut from dying. It just felt like everything I wanted to do, I was like, oh, can only do one of these things. And I understand there's games like that. I don't want something that wants to reach so far, like you said, and do all these things. And then, no, you get to do one, maybe you get to go to the market and make some money.
Yeah.
But then you don't get to move and build and any of the other things you wanted to do. So, yeah, for me, I'd want to try it again now that I know what I'm doing and see if I can get more from it. But I think that limiting thing is going to be... And no, I wouldn't add it to my library because even though it has a little bit of that exploring, there's games that do it better. Some of them are incredibly ridiculously long, so fine. This just doesn't boil it down to 2 hours and still give me that feel of what it wants to do.
Agreed.
Shelby.
So yeah, I echo a lot of the same feelings that you guys had. I do also want to point out that like a lot of stuff wasn't explained. It was just kind of like, here's the iconography, try to figure it out, or like when we came around to doing the catastrophes,
That was a
the
bit of a mess.
type of catastrophe is printed on the board in a terrain in the same style as the terrain is printed. And that right there also offers confusion because we didn't realize it till what, like 3 turns after
We're like,
we
oh
started
look, an
the
earthquake
game.
has
Like,
a crack in the ground.
I don't understand. Yeah, so there are a lot of issues with it. I do agree that it's very like formatty in the way that you have to, like, in order for you to do this, you have to meet this and this condition. Like, I didn't care for that so much. Yeah, I probably would not add it to my collection. Would I be willing to play it again? Yeah, maybe, just to see if I could wrap my head around some of the stuff that doesn't make quite a lot of sense. But it's not something that I'm going to actively seek out to play.
But other than that, I mean, the components were nice. The trays are nice.
Yeah, certainly, yeah, it was good production value. Like, but unless that real rule book was rewritten and something that wasn't so convoluted, I don't think I would enjoy playing it again.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to check out the first play, feel free to look at it on our YouTube channel. We also have it down here at the store if you're local and you want to come check it out for yourself, make your own opinions on it, right? Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Bye.